The negotiation is going well to well. Something feels off, but you can't identify what. Your gut screams warning, but your brain sees nothing wrong. You proceed. 2 weeks later, you discover you've been played from the start. Every signal was there. You just couldn't read them. Samurai warriors faced a deadlier version of this problem. In duels, missing one signal meant instant death. Reading an opponent's intention 1 second before execution was the difference between living and dying. Miyamoto Musashi developed an observation system so precise he could predict attacks before they began, not through mysticism, through systematic observation of microsignals that reveal intention before action. I spent 30 days training this ancient detection method. Now I read deception in meetings, spot lies in conversations, and identify true intentions in negotiations with 90% accuracy. And in the next 9 minutes, I'm revealing the complete samurai observation system that lets you see what others miss, turning microsignals into predictable patterns you can read instantly. Welcome to Japanese Secrets Season 2. Comment below which city you're watching from and what you think about this video. Before you think this is about mystical powers, understand that samurai observation was pure pattern recognition, trained through life or death necessity. The Book of Five Rings describes the principle clearly. Musashi writes about perceiving the rhythm of situations, seeing through to the core of things, and detecting the enemy's spirit before physical movement begins. This wasn't supernatural. It was systematic training in reading 3 layers of signals simultaneously. First layer, breathing patterns. Musashi taught that breath reveals intention. Before striking, a person's breathing changes. It quickens slightly, or suddenly stops, or shows a barely perceptible pattern shift. In duels, Musashi watched his opponent's chest and throat, not their sword. The weapon follows intention. Intention reveals through breath. This principle applies everywhere. In negotiations, watch breathing when someone makes their critical point. Rapid shallow breathing signals stress or deception. Steady deep breathing signals confidence or truth. In confrontations, breathing that suddenly stops signals imminent action. The person is about to move aggressively. Your body can't hide what your breath reveals. Second layer, eye movement patterns. Samurai studied where opponents looked in the moment before striking. Eyes telegraph target. A duelist glances at the opening they plan to exploit, just for a fraction of a second, but trained observers catch it. Modern application is identical. In meetings, watch where people look when making claims. Looking up and left signals construction of information, often fabrication. Looking directly while speaking signals confidence in truth. Looking away when answering specific questions signals discomfort with that topic. Notice what people look at when they think no one is watching. That reveals true interest or concern. Third layer, micro movements and tension patterns. Musashi taught observation of shoulders, hands, and feet. Before striking, specific muscles tense, shoulders rise slightly, hands grip differently, weight shifts almost imperceptibly. These micro movements happen milliseconds before conscious action. You can't fake them. They're involuntary preparation for movement. Watch shoulders in negotiations. Rising shoulders signal defensive posture or stress. Watch hands when people speak. Fidgeting signals discomfort. Sudden stillness signals decision point. Watch feet under tables. Pointing toward exit signals desire to leave. Turning toward speaker signals engagement. Here's my 30-day training protocol that built this observation skill from scratch. Days 1 through 10. Single signal focus. I chose breath watching. Every conversation, every meeting, every interaction. I focused exclusively on observing breathing patterns, not listening to words, just watching. Breath rhythm. This sounds simple, but your brain resists. You want to focus on words. Force yourself back to breath. 10 days of dedicated practice makes breath observation automatic. You start seeing patterns without trying. Days 11 through 20, I pattern tracking. Added second layer. Now watching breath and eyes simultaneously. Every conversation, I noted where people looked when speaking, where they looked when listening, where they looked during silence. pattern recognition develops fast. After 2 weeks, you predict what someone will say based on where they look first. Days 21 through 30, full system integration. Breath, eyes, and body micro-movements all together. This is complete observation. Now you're reading 3 signal layers simultaneously while maintaining normal conversation. The first week of full integration feels overwhelming. Too much information. But by day 30, it becomes unconscious competence. You see everything without trying. Here's what 30 days created for me. In a business partnership negotiation, I caught deception early. The potential partner said everything right, but his breathing shifted when discussing financials. His eyes looked up left when providing specific numbers. His shoulders tensed when I asked about past ventures. All 3 signals aligned, fabrication. I pushed for verification. Numbers didn't match. Saved myself from a terrible partnership. During a difficult conversation with someone close, I spotted the real issue. They said they were fine, but breath was rapid and shallow. Eyes kept glancing at phone, hands fidgeting constantly. All 3 signals, they wanted to leave this conversation. I asked directly if this was a bad time. They admitted they were stressed about something else entirely. Without observation training, I would have taken their "I'm fine" literally and created unnecessary conflict. In a job interview where I was hiring, one candidate seemed perfect on paper, but during interview, breathing stopped briefly when discussing why they left last job. Eyes shifted down and right when explaining the reason. Shoulders tensed when I probed deeper. Hired someone else. Later discovered the candidate had been fired for cause but lied on application. 3 signal observation prevented a bad hire. Most importantly, this training improved my own self-awareness. When I feel my own breath shift, I know I'm stressed before my mind recognizes it. When I catch myself looking away during difficult topics, I know I'm avoiding something. When my shoulders rise, I know I'm going defensive. Self-observation creates emotional intelligence that external observation alone cannot. The samurai didn't develop observation for parlor tricks. They needed it to survive. Every duel was a reading. Contest. Who could see intention first? Who could detect the attack pattern before execution? Who could spot the deception in feints and false movements? Modern life is less lethal, but the same principle applies. Business is warfare without swords. Relationships require reading unspoken signals. Leadership demands seeing what teams won't say directly. The 3-layer system gives you unfair advantage. You see truth while others see performance. 30 days of dedicated training. 10 days per layer, then 10 days integration. First layer breathing patterns. Watch chest and throat rhythm during all conversations. Second layer eye movements. Track where people look when speaking versus listening. Third layer micro movements. Observe shoulders, hands, feet for tension and shift patterns. That's the complete practice. Not mystical, just systematic. The samurai understood that victory belongs to who sees first. When you see intention before action, you control every interaction. Comment below if you're starting the 30-day observation training tomorrow morning. And if you want more advanced samurai systems that give you invisible advantages in modern warfare, subscribe to Japanese Secrets Season 2. The ancient warriors knew that reading the enemy is more powerful than any weapon.